Hi everyone, welcome back to my channel. It's really nice to see you. Today is my long-awaited tarot study journal setup, and it's really long-awaited because I have done a lot of research into what I want my tarot study journal to look like, how I want it to function, and the ways that I'm going to be using it. And just for some background, I purchased the Hobonichi Techo Cousin. It's from 2023, but I have previously mentioned in another video that the specific dates don't matter, but what does matter to me is a journal that had a lot of pages and a journal that had pages that were fountain pen friendly. And as you can see here, this journal is quite thick, and the paper is Tomoe River paper, which is very well known in the fountain pen world and is very fountain pen friendly and preferred by most fountain pen enthusiasts. That was a tongue twister. I wanted to talk a little bit about the method that I'm going to be using and how I'm going to be using this tarot study journal. I have come up with a couple different ways, but I'm going to give a little overview here right now of this journal and show you a little bit what's on the inside if you're not familiar with a Hobonichi Cousin. So the Hobonichi Cousin includes like a overview calendar for the year, and then it jumps into like again an overview of each month here, and then it hops into monthly spreads. So there should be 12 of these for each month, and then it goes into a weekly spread. And I have a couple different ways that I really want to use these specific pages. Obviously they are tied to specific dates of a previous year, but I've seen a lot of people use these very differently than what Hobonichi has set up here. And my ideas for these pages, so we'll flip back quickly to the monthly here. For monthlies, I want to use those 15 pages to create lists. Reading lists, wish lists, spreads that I want to try or I have seen, questions that I want to ask the tarot or I thought were really cool that I heard somewhere, and then a list of references that I have or are interested in, courses to take or look into for tarot, and did I mention like a to-read list? So anything tarot related and lists I will be using the monthly pages for. And then for these weekly pages, there are at least 52 of these. And for those, I want to use them as a journal type section, checking in with my study of the tarot, how I feel I'm doing, what I'm thinking, what I've learned, anything like that. I really want to do some check-in journaling entries within these pages. And then I also thought it would be really cool to do an imagery and symbol study. So setting aside a good chunk of these pages that really dive deep into each symbol. I don't know if I'll be able to get through each and every card in the tarot, but I would at least like to get through the major arcana. So I want to do some deep dive into symbols of the tarot, and the basis for which I'm going to be using for that specific symbol study is the RWS. I'm going to be using my Centennial Borderless edition, so I think that'll be really fun. And then how I'm going to be using these dailies is each card I'm going to count from January to the end of December here. I'm going to count how many pages there are in this chunk here, and I will include the extra graph pages here. And then I'm going to divide these by 78, and then that will give me, I believe it's about 5 or 6 pages each per card. I'm going to create like a title page, and I'm going to do some setup of these with you guys, so don't worry if me explaining it is a little confusing, but I'm going to be ignoring this part. I'm going to be collaging over it. I'm going to say that this page to this page, this is going to be the dedicated Fool section. And then we're going to move on, and the next 5 or 6 pages is going to be the Magician. And once I do get into the minors, I would like to set it up instead of going starting with a suit and going through ace to the king in that one suit. I would like to keep the aces together, the ones together, the twos together, and so on. I want the like numbers closer to each other than having to maybe flip through. I just thought that organization made a lot of sense to me for this video. So enough talking about the setup, but that is the premise for today's video. So what I'm going to do right now is I'm going to count out, do some math, divvy up the sections, and mark all the different sections for the different cards. And then I'll come back and we'll move on to the next step. Okay, so I am back, and I feel like that was the toughest part, and that's over now, so thank goodness. I just have to say that numbers, math, not my thing. Has never been my language. But I did make a change, so I'll just show you what I have. So I thought that these 2 pages here just seemed a little bit more suited to lists. These 2 columns will be for my wish list. These 2 columns will be my to be read. These 2 columns will be spread ideas. These 2 columns will be questions to ask. These 2 columns will be courses that I'm interested in. And then I'm going to keep a list of references, and that will be these 2. Moving into the monthly layouts, it made sense to free up even more pages by utilizing these a little better for the lists. So from here all the way through till here will be the pages used for that. I don't think I'm going to split the 140 pages 50-50 between the journaling and the symbols, because I would rather have more space for the symbols than the check-ins, because I don't know quite yet how frequently I'm going to be doing a journal entry check-in about what I'm learning. So this section will be dedicated to that. And then we move into the actual cards. And I don't know if I touched on this earlier, but I'm going to be using these pages as a journal entry kind of way. So anytime I'm doing a reading, anytime I do a daily draw, which sometimes I'm not the best at doing a draw every day. So this is a low pressure way. Each card is going to have 5 pages. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. The meat of my tarot study journal will be, let's say today is September 19th, 2024. And on this day, I pulled the Fool. And I'm going to note it down. I'm going to talk about, like, this was my daily pull. I'm going to write about what I think it means. I'm going to read the guidebook and note down anything from the guidebook that I liked. Then I am going to try and remember to come back and reflect. How did the Fool end up showing up in my day? Did it connect to what I originally thought, or was it a little different? How did it appear in the day? What did I think about? Was it top of my mind throughout the day, or did I kind of forget it? I think sometimes I'm very prone to doing a daily draw, and in that moment I'm like, oh yes, the Fool, and I read about it and I think about it for that 5 minutes, and then as I get into my day, it kind of goes to the wayside, right? But I want this to make me more accountable to the reflection piece of it, and I want to come back and note if I did kind of forget about the Fool, if it wasn't really top of mind, why was that, and what was the Fool trying to say in that silence. Let's say the next time I pull the Fool isn't until December 8th, 2024. And I'm going to do the same thing. Maybe this time, this wasn't a daily pull, but it was part of year ahead reading. And I'm going to, make notes there. And then maybe I don't pull this until April. Let's say, well, wouldn't it be appropriate to say April 1st, 2025? Let's say I don't pull that card again until April 2025. So then I'm going to do the same thing and just note. And then it becomes a running list in a way of how the Fool has shown up, when it has shown up, what I thought about it in context to it was a daily draw, or it was part of a year ahead spread, or maybe in April I was doing a reading about my career and it showed up there. So I have like this running log in a way of how the Fool has shown up as I've drawn it, what things have popped up inside of the spread context and outside of it, and how has my understanding of the Fool tracked differently. And I can visually see that. I can go back and read and say, wow, I've learned so much more about the Fool, and I've derived certain keywords and meanings for it that are different than what I originally did in September of 2024. And then I have all of the space to do those kinds of entries. And the reason that I wanted to do it this way is that this tarot study journal will last me for many years. It will be a living, breathing journal that I'm using, and that will last a long time, and that I can have, and it will become my own personal repository of how I've learned, and I can see the trajectory of my growth over the years and over the readings. And the only thing that you can run into is you never know. Sometimes we have a card that just keeps coming forward, and that could happen a lot. And you could run out of space. Let's say I pull the Magician a lot more than I pull the Lovers, and the Magician's page fills up faster than the Lovers. So I did think about and consider that I might run into that, but the chance, it won't happen for a while regardless. And you know, I might not have much to say in one entry versus another, you know, so I think it's going to balance out. So the meat of this journal are those pages of splitting it up and having 5 pages per card. I did end up having some extra pages. Now what I'm going to do next is we are going to make some of these pages really pretty. And yes, this is going to take, and has taken, a lot of time. I think I mentioned that I have been planning this and thinking about this for a while now, and the setup process will take a lot of dedication and it will take a lot of time. But to me, it's worth it, because once I set this up, then I'm going to have it for many, many years to come. And I won't have to set up another tarot study journal for a long while. So yes, there is more upfront work, and no, you don't have to make your pages pretty like I want to. Like, you could just literally write the Emperor here, and then, I mean, a simple title, and then go from there. But I like the creative part. I like art and collaging and stuff like that. So to me, it is worth it, and I'm more inclined to use it if I have it set up and it looks the way that I want it to look and that I'm envisioning. I'm going to appreciate it more and use it more. So I'm going to go ahead and gather my supplies, and I will be right back. I'm back. I have some supplies here. I want to start at the Fool. That's where I really want to start here. Okay. I still have to erase this, but that's okay. I want to also reference the card as I am making the pages, which I guess I should have been more prepared and already had the Fool picked out, but here we are. I'm just going to try and find the Fool here pretty quickly, and then we can really get started. There he is, our Fool. Okay. Now I might not use, but I was looking more for color palette, taking in the card, just being inspired by the Fool. So I'm going to put him right there. And the Fool. So the Fool has a lot of yellow associated with it. So maybe, yeah, golden moment. Yellow, that feels nice. Now, if you are going to do the scrapbooky type thing that I'm doing, yes, the book will get quite bulky, but I love that. I like when that happens. Okay. I think my little stamps here are pretty dry, so I'm probably going to use black. Am I the only one that associates the Fool more with a sunflower than a rose? No? Or am I just making everyone cringe at that thought? I guess that would have been smart to remember I had that open. I bet y'all are just like, ah, don't do that. Oh well. Okay, yeah, I kind of like that. I mean, nothing crazy for each card, just something a little extra, and that introduces the start of the card. So I'm gonna go ahead, we're gonna do a couple more on camera together, and then I am going to continue working on this. I'm going to find the Magician. I just had these in order and then I used them, of course. Magician, okay. So Magician also has a lot of yellow. The red is really speaking to me. Got some red roses. Okay, Magician. Ooh, what side? Yeah, I like that. I don't know, should I put the on every title? I mean, that's how Pixie has it. Okay. I think I'm going to write Magician here with my fountain pen because it currently is inked in red and I think that'd be a nice touch. Let me go grab it and I'll be right back. Okay, I'm back and I also tried to better organize my desk. So my fountain pen, I'm also excited to use this paper. Let's just go ahead and write the Magician. Wow, that's gorgeous. It felt really nice to write on. Let's see. I just put my super teeny tiny pieces in here, just so I don't lose them. That'd be good for like the period. I'm not seeing anything in particular that I want to use from that. If you're wondering, the sticker sheets I get from Michael's, called Paper Studio, I really like their stickers that they have. So each of these packs, this is a floral pack, this is a bird pack, and then this is a like outdoor adventure pack. So I got each of these from Michael's. I did kind of like this, even though I don't serve this. That would be nice to incorporate in some way. Maybe down here. And then I really like something in this corner. I keep thinking about this flower here. I like that one a lot. So I'm gonna go with this one. Actually, maybe. Okay, pretty happy with that. So now I would like to do an ace, like a minor, with you all. And I'm going to find that page. going to let the cards decide what order they'll be in. So, set that aside for now, and we'll do the aces. I want something that's kind of neutral for the cover page. Kind of like brown better. Get my pencil. I like to give my scraps some texture and just rip. I like the kind of raw edge look. So, do I like the lines or do I like the honeycomb? I like honeycomb pattern. I also get my tape from a Michaels. You can buy the shell here once, and then you can buy a pack of refills like this. I just have the slot second one there. Okay, let's see. The aces. This is kind of shiny paper, so the ink will not like it too much. I think I have some. I wish I had. Do I want more brown? Just something I like to myself. Oh, crystal ball. Sure. This stuff is disappearing. I'm going to be snipping over this, so. Oh my gosh, sacred altars. Do we want sacred altars? Solstice. Oh, that's perfect. We'll see if this works. I've never done that. Make sure it's really saturated. It's the only thing with wood blocks is it's hard to see. I do have an acrylic set, I just don't have an acrylic lettering set. Oh, why did I put you away? I need that one back. Do I want to do one pattern or just kind of straight on? So one thing I've noticed that helps me when I have limited space is to do the first letter and then the last letter. And then you can kind of fit what needs to in between and kind of know what your spacing is. I have done too many a time of messing that up. So I've learned the hard way. Okay. I think I want to add maybe a little bit of detail around those letters when they dry. Just because it'll make it stand out, I think, a little more. Let's test. It's kind of nice. Let's get it up. Faces. Our first one is Pentacles. I want to bring in some nature aspects for my sticker sheets. See if the right works. I guess I'm dyslexic too. So I will say though, I'll gather them here. So to show you that B, D, P, and Q are the same. It's just you have to make sure you pick the right ones. So, okay. Wish I had a bigger desk space, but we're working with what we got. Hopefully I can have enough room. So that's telling me I should go all the way over. It's like, oh, because I use black on them, so hold on. Oh, let's fix that one. So I guess character, huh? So my method of first and last and going inward I guess doesn't always work. And then I just tell you to do that because it helps, and then I flub it up. But it's okay. This is my journal. It's going to get used. It has a lot of character. Okay. So we have the Ace of Pentacles there. So we'll put this one. Trying to keep them so I don't overdo them. Okay, the next is wands. Wands. I kind of like this. I like wands, right? But I keep going over here because that's where this is. But we'll get some variety here. It's all about trial and error. Trying things out. But we did that. Don't think I'm having one neon green, but do that like this. I think that'll look nice. I'll do wands in that. That's probably the cleanest pass I've done, and of course I'm not drawing. On a scale of 1 to 10, how much is this video a disaster? You let me know in the comments. Make sure it's as dry as possible. Alright, so once done, the lazy things are gonna. Next we have swords. Swords. I want to use this cups piece of magazine, so I'm not gonna do blue. I think I'll do black here, and then I got a clue how to do this. Because I won't do that just yet. Do you like the lines? The graphs. I've never done like a craft with me video before, so I do apologize if I've been out of frame for some things. I'm just so used to doing these things without having a camera, but I promise that I will get the hang of it. Let's bring back out to that. Sit. Do any of you watch Plant-Based Bride? Who she does like booktube content, and she's very artsy and very talented. And you know, after my little adventure here today with crafting on screen, I'm like, that must take her like hours to put together, because I mean, she does not only top down, but she has like a side view from the side filming simultaneously, and I'm like, ugh, that's also a lot of editing. I kind of like when these letters and the stamps touch down with the ink. It almost makes it look like a typewriter key. That was one of my favorite things growing up to do. Is my mom had a typewriter that she used in college, and it was like a tealy blue It was a really nice one, and I just really like to push the keys on that. I'm sure she was like cringing every time I would go like super fast, and then some of the keys, I would be doing it so fast that some of the keys, when they would go up to stamp, they would like get stuck on one another. Swords. Okay, so looking good. I don't know if I have any. I don't know. I like that for right now. And then obviously our final one is cups. I was hoping that, however this turned out, that swords and cups would be near each other. I like the dichotomy of them. Oh, I didn't get to put on pentacles. I need to go get more paint chips. I've been using them in other journals as well. Kind of like the purple, but where did my scissors go? I covered that one. Almost had a disaster. I got 3 more organized folks. Like, oh, it's like screaming at the screen. Let's see how well the stamps do on this material. They might need some extra time to dry. All right, so let's do a little look at what we have so far. There's the cups page, and then I think the ink is still drying there, so I'm just going to do that. But any aces that overflow, I have all of these to have them overflow too. And I know I could have spaced them out more, but I kind of like seeing them right next to each other. So cups and swords. We have wands and my goofy pentacles. We have the aces cover page, which I'm going to add a bunch of tidbits here about the aces overall general information. And then we did the Fool together, and then the Magician. So I'm going to continue going through each card and setting it up, having the classic RWS out for reference in case I want to pull in some colors, like the Magician for red, the Fool, I did the yellow, even though yellow is on multiple cards, but just to get an energy and feel for the card as I am creating the page for it. So I'm going to go ahead and take the time. I'm not going to be in a hurry. I'm going to do that, and then I will come back after that, and I will give you a little flip through. I will be right back, even though days and weeks might have gone by. Okay, everybody, I am back. It has been several weeks now. I apologize for my voice. I am a little sick at the moment, but I have finally finished setting up this journal, and I'm going to do a little bit of a flip through for you. So I haven't done the cover yet. I haven't decided exactly what I want to do. If I want to collage on it, if I want to get a clear cover that they have for Hobonichis, or I don't know, haven't decided. So I haven't done anything with the front or the back yet aesthetically. Who knows, I might just leave it like this, I don't know. You'll notice here that I have these tabs at the top. Those are indication of the different sections of this journal. So let's start first with this purple one. And this are my lists. And I just wanted to note that I ended up using paint chips for the tabs. And the reason I'm telling you this is you can use anything in any way that you want to. I like this because the colors, I could pick any color that I wanted. All I did was cut them down and fold them and then taped them in. So this is where I will be listing anything, any decks that I have on my wish list, my to be read, books that I want to read, any spread ideas I might have that I want to jot down somewhere just to have somewhere instead of like I grab any random piece of scrap of paper and write down my ideas, so at least I can try to mitigate that and have it in one space. Then I have these two columns are questions to explore, and that is going to be whether for journaling or a question to ask the tarot. And then learning tarot is any courses. I know Tom Benjamin offers a lot. I know Dawn Michelle has a couple. Lisa Papez has her own. So any of those that I want to maybe try one day, I'm going to list here. And then any other resources that don't maybe fit within these things that I found really helpful, maybe online or what have you, I'm going to list here. The second tab here is the orange tab, and this is going to be the section for journaling pages. And what I'm going to be doing is I'm going to be using these monthly layouts here just as a regular page. I'm going to be ignoring kind of all the numbers here. I'm just going to use it as a journaling check-in with how my practice is going. Anything that I want to note down that takes more explanation than, you know, a list version or anything else that might be going on in the rest of the journal. So I will have these pages to do so. And then this like ochre yellow mustard color tab here is the RWS symbology study. I wanted to use my Centennial tarot deck, and I wanted to go through each card and in order, and I wanted to note down any of the symbols that I notice, do some research about any symbols anyone else has, and then write down what those symbols are, what they mean, and maybe any personal resonance I might have from my own experience on those. So these are the weekly layouts here. If you're unfamiliar, this is a Hobonichi Techo cousin, and the cousin has weeklies, dailies, monthlies, all in one for one whole year. So this is the weekly spreads. So I'll be using those, I believe, each card. So there's 52 weeks, right? And I used up a couple for the cover page. And I glued two together. I think for every part where there's a tab here, I glued 2 pages together just for some durability, because this is very thin paper. It's for fountain pens, which I do have and I will be using in this. So that was one of the reasons I wanted this, as you probably remember from the beginning anyway. So each page I will dedicate to a tarot card. And so if I do that, I believe I will have just enough pages to do the whole 78 cards. I think I'll have some left over at the end, so if there's any overflow, I will be putting that there. And then we go to the bulk of this journal, and that is the individual cards for when I do a reading. I will note down the date, if it was a daily draw, if it was part of a larger reading, and what I kind of took from that message. So each card gets 5 pages, and I would like to use this page as like a title page and write down maybe a little bit of an intro about each card, and then start really documenting and noting those different times I draw the card for each on the next pages. This is the part that took the longest time because I took time to collage a little bit. I used my stamp set for lettering, which got my hands incredibly inky because I only have the woodblock ones. I don't know, I took my time. I didn't want to rush it. I did use double-sided tape rolls, so there are a couple instances where it does stick, but that doesn't bother me. I'd rather that be the case than like permanent glue, which is harder to separate. But yeah, each major, each minor, well, you know, because I've explained it in the beginning of this video. There's been so much time in between that I've kind of forgotten what I prefaced. But yeah, just flip through some of the collage pieces. And then, as I told you, for the minors, I'm grouping them by the aces, the twos, the threes, and then having each suit within that. And this, honestly, if I'm being super honest with myself, is the portion that took the most time because I wasn't just doing one heading, I was doing 5. So I was doing an introduction, like these are the aces, and the pentacles, ace of pentacles, ace of wands, ace of swords, and ace of cups. So each had 5 headings for each number, and then some overflow here for the minors. But this is really what took the longest amount of time. It started to get a little weary at the end, just because I started running out of like creative little collaging pieces. And I did use mostly magazine. I do have a big 3-ring binder with plastic sleeves in it, and the sleeves are themed, so, and I alphabetize them, so anything that is more art, anything that has nature in it, and I've broken down nature into like even further, like trees, flowers, mountains, water. I have winter in there, anything that has a wintry scene, exterior for like houses and stuff, and interiors of buildings and houses. And it helps me know or be a little bit more organized with the pages that I rip out of magazines, and that's how I store them. So I kind of went through all of those and pulled out some pages to do all this collage. So yes, it's all magazine, and then I have some coffee dyed note cards or paper for these, or other scraps that I just had, and then any like pages or dictionary pages I have sometimes for those, and then I stamped on top again. I really like how this turned out. I do not regret how much time it took because, as I mentioned, this is something that I'm going to have for a while. It's going to take me a long time to fill this up. So, and it's going to make me more likely to use it because I've put so much time. I mean, I think from the beginning of this till now, it's been about a month. So it took me about a month to set all of this up, but I couldn't be more pleased. And then I did make one boo-boo, but that wasn't until the quartz, so that's not terrible. Oh, let me go back here. Is this the tens? Okay. So I actually jumped around. For the whole book, I did it in order, except for the court cards, and that kind of bit me in the butt a little bit. So I have the pages, and then it goes to the kings. I originally did the queens first, then the pages. No, the queens first, then the knights, pages, and then the kings. And when I did the knights, I don't know why, but I put them behind the queens, so, but that's okay. They'll all be in one area anyway. But, you know, things happen. I'm surprised it was only that one oopsie, really. But it's pretty chunky. It's more top chunky because most of the collage pieces are up here. But as I go, I think I will add a few to the bottom. There is a couple of pages where I added some stuff to the bottom, like this one. So I'm hoping it will balance out. But yeah, you guys, that is the finished tarot study journal. And now I can finally use it, and I'm so excited.